All right, hey guys, welcome to your assignment for this week, or your instructional video, and then your assignment for this week. Thank you to all of y'all that have been on this and turned in assignments and been working through the music. We really appreciate all the work that you guys have done. I know the section leaders have been going above and beyond to get all that watched and get all that taken care of, and I know you guys have gone above and beyond just to get those assignments in. So before we do anything else, thank you very much for that. I really appreciate it. Today, we're going to hit a review on the things we've covered so far, because that's just what needs to happen. I mean, we can't not review, so we'll review our step-offs, our forward technique. We're going to review that side, back, side, front exercise, okay? And then we're going to start turning that into some backward step-offs and some backward traveling steps, okay? So that's going to be what we covered today in the video. That's what's going to be in your assignment. Your assignment this week will be essentially last week's assignment, which was only about three and a half minutes, something like that, I think, when I did that, and then adding on some backward steps. So at the end of this, I'll walk you through the assignment again, like we've done with all of the other videos, so that you know exactly what to do, and then we can kind of get a good time on it. I'm going to guess it's probably in the 4 minute, 4:15, 4:30, something like that. Still trying to keep these under 5 minutes with these assignments that you got to get turned in, okay? All right, so let's get started. First thing, we have to go through and evaluate or build our posture again. Need to understand that everything that we do is a posture exercise, whether we're just standing or whether we're moving, we're going forwards, backwards, left, right, sideways, playing, not playing, horns up, horns down, whatever. Everything we do is a posture exercise, so don't ever skip over that. It doesn't take long, especially once you've kind of got the hang of it, but you need to make sure that you're reviewing your posture every chance that you get, which is why that's part of every one of our assignments. I'm going to back up a little bit here so you can see my feet. So we're going to get into a nice big 90 degrees with our feet, weight evenly distributed, right? We're pushing into the ground with our feet like we talked about with that push-up. Legs should be nice and long. This hip bone, turn to the side now, should be down, understanding that this part of our back, for most people, has a nice natural curve to it, that hip bowl that we've talked about. If you think of what a skeleton looks like, our hips are shaped like a bowl, and they're tilted forward a little bit, and we've got to get that tilt forward and underneath our bodies. Okay, so feet at 90 degrees, legs pushing into the ground, tailbone down, hip bowl flat. Those two things kind of accomplish the same thing, so you can think about it either way. When we talk about our abs, remember our abs we discussed in 3 sections. We have these lower abs down here below our belly button that push down into our pelvic area. We have these middle 2 abs that are going to get stretched in towards our spine. These top abs here, right underneath our rib cage, are going to lift up into our rib cage. So we've got this opposition that we're working with our abs. So we've got our feet at 90 degrees, pelvis down, hip bowl, abs pushing 2 different directions. We push down with the lower abs, lift up with the upper abs. These middle abs get nice and skinny, kind of pulling towards the spine. This we have to recheck to make sure that we didn't end up here as we give this effort. A lot of times we'll give this effort with our upper bodies here, and then this will kind of get out of whack again. So we've got to keep this tucked down as we expand this rib cage. Shoulder blades going back and down. Remember, normally our hands are in front of our body. We slope forward just a little bit. We've got to work to get that rolled back and down. It's not a huge difference, right? I mean, like if you watch it, it's just a little bit, but it is noticeable. We're going to get this part of our back nice and flat, okay? Neck long, and our ears over our shoulders. Not letting our ears get out in front of our heads, and keeping this push back so that our ears are directly in line here and over our shoulders. Great. Hands on hips. We've talked about getting this, if it's your first time to tune in, this knuckle right here on our finger goes right underneath this hip bone. If you'll feel around for your hip bones, we want this knuckle to go right on the bottom of those hip bones. Fingers straight, not open and not curled or bunched, but fingers straight and together. That joint, or that's part of our finger on the bottom part here, nice 90-degree angles here, through here, with the shoulder blades back and down, okay? Let's build that one more time all together. Feet, legs, hips, abs, shoulders, neck, ears, hands on hips. Hold for a second. Take a couple breaths while you're here. As you breathe, don't let this accordion, or don't let it go up and down as you breathe, right? Okay, we're going to hold steady here. As we breathe, we're not going to let anything here collapse or raise. Everything's going to stay nice and still. All right, and done. So you're going to do for your assignment, you're going to do a quick review of your posture facing the front and the side. That shouldn't take very long. We're talking about 5 to 10 seconds here. Just give it a quick check from the front, quick check from the side, so that way your section leaders can either give you some positive feedback, hey, we made some progress, hey, you're just as great as you were on week 1, or maybe some things that we need to keep working on, okay? All right, now we're going to talk through our step-offs. I'm going to drop the camera here so we can get a nice good look at my feet, my legs, all right, my nice skinny bird legs. Stop laughing at me. All right. So we're talking about our step-offs. The first thing we do is we have to shift our weight, which means we get our right toe, remember we're pushing our right toe down, our left toe is coming up. So that shift, and we're going to talk about this when we get to backwards as well, but that shift is both of our feet working 2 different directions, right toe down, left toe up, so that my left leg is now engaged and flexed here, and my right leg is ready to give me my energy for my step-off. Okay? Now from the side, again, right foot down, left foot up, and then as we move, this leg, my left leg, stays engaged, nice and straight, into step 1. As opposed to, remember, this is the wrong way, if I don't engage my left, if I just kind of work the right, then what's going to happen is I'm going to bend in place, and that is not the proper technique. All right, getting on to the next part of our video. Sorry I had to break that up just a little bit, getting some phone calls and some texts I had to get back to. All right, so we're going to go through our side, back, side, front review right now. And remember, our side, back, side, front is our exercise that we use to kind of build our backwards technique without the awkwardness of actually traveling backwards. So we're going to go ahead and start with that now. If you missed last week's video, then this will all be new. If you caught it, it will be a good review for us. I'm going to set this down again so we can kind of get a nice look at my feet. All right, so the first part of this is we're going to take a step to our side. And by the side, I mean to the left. Okay, I may have left that out on last week's video. Sorry, that's kind of crucial information. So we're going to our left. And what we're going to do is we're going to take, once you're ready to go, we're going to take a step to the side on that first part. Side, back, side, front. The first step's to the side. Some things we need to notice now. My hips are between my feet. Body weight is centered, just like it always is. That's going to come into play in just a second with our backwards march. You'll notice that my heels are slightly off the ground. It's about an inch. They are not extended all the way up. I'm not on my toes. All right, that creates balance issues, a lot of extra tension in my legs that I don't need, less real estate on my feet to balance on. So that's why we're going to keep this down just a little bit. It should be easier to hold our balance. Got it? So we'll have 1, 2, ready, go, side. Nice and easy. Do that with me, please. Close your feet, 90 degrees. Check your posture. Ready, 5, 6, and dut, dut, dut. Shift, move, side. Awesome. Super, super easy. Now, from a side perspective, what we need to be aware of is that when we go to the side, that my body weight doesn't start to lean forward or backward, but again, it stays centered. And I'm keeping my body weight really over my arches. Okay, I'm not trying to get my body weight up and out and over my toes, because that brings everything too far forward. I'm going to tend to fall a little bit. So I'm trying to keep my weight on my arches or in the middle of my feet here so that I can stay nice and balanced on that side step. Of course, I don't want to get back because then I'm on my heels. We're going to keep everything nice and balanced on our arches. Now, the next step, I'm going to go to the side and then to the back. I'm going to bring my right leg behind my left. My ankle bones right here are in line. That's what I'm aiming for. I don't want my right ankle bone to pass up my left, right? And I don't want my right ankle bone to be shy. I want to get my right ankle bone directly behind my left ankle bone. Got it? So that's kind of what I'm aiming for. And then also, if you look from the side, you'll notice that my feet are close together front to back. I'm not going side and then back and opening up this space. I'm keeping this nice and tight. So again, my balance is nice and easy as I move across the floor. Okay? Again, keeping my body weight over my arches, not trying to get my body weight over my toes or over my heels, but keeping that body weight nice and centered over my arches. Third step is going to be to the side. So we'll have side, back. Oh, by the way, heels are the same distance off the ground. Missed that one, right? So we're not coming up or coming back down. It's staying the same distance. Side, back, then side again. So again, heels are the same distance off the ground. Body weight is centered. This should look just like the first step. Side, back, side. These two are carbon copies of each other. Now I'm going to move to the front. Right leg's coming in front. And again, I'm aiming for ankle bone to ankle bone. If you notice, my feet are also still in turnout. They live in turnout on this exercise. So the feet are going to stay in turnout, not in parallel. So right ankle is behind the left ankle bone. From the side perspective, you can see my feet are still nice and tight, front to back, so I can maintain that balance. I don't want to get this foot all the way up here so my body weight shifts. I want to keep it here. Got it? And then the last step is to the side. Oh, I'm sorry, that's a close. If we're just doing fours, like side, back, side, front, close. All right, all together, take a step to the side, side, body weight centered. Now take a step to the back, back, side, front, close. Got it? All together. Okay, start over again with me. Here we go. And 5, 6, and dot, dot, dot. Shift, move, side, back, side, front, close. Awesome. Now I'm going to move this over to this red line to kind of help you with kind of another perspective of this, and I hope this works out well. If we'll notice, I'm going to take a side perspective on this, what I want from my side, back, side, front. Now, of course, I'm going to get a little bit in front or behind this line. You have to a little bit. But what I'm attempting to do or trying to do is keep my body weight, my body centered on this red line instead of having side, back, side, front, and have my body weight all around the place. I've got to work to keep my body weight on this red line as I'm going across. Again, that's another concept we're going to talk about when we get into our backwards march as well. Okay? So and if this is your first time to jump on that exercise, you may want to rewind it right now and kind of check into that once or twice more just to make sure that you've got it. Or you can check into last week's video, which is on our YouTube channel. And then probably if you scroll through the band app, you may be able to find it there as well. But get on that just a little bit. If this is a review or you haven't done that, or if that kind of went a little bit faster than what you were ready to kind of keep up with, get on those last videos and jump on that side, back, side, front, because that's a really crucial exercise to making what we're about to talk about a whole lot easier, okay? All right, so that will be part of your assignment as well. You're going to do your side, back, side, front add-on like we did last week from a front and side perspective. And then you're going to take 4 steps, side, back, side, front, close. You'll do that twice from a front and a side perspective as well. Okay, so that's going to be part of your assignment. And then the last part of your assignment is going to be some backward step-offs, some backward traveling steps. So let's get into now our learning through that, okay? So now, again, getting down on here, let's start talking about some backward steps. Now we have the backward steps and the forward steps have quite a few similarities that we want to try to copy and paste from one concept to the next. And the first one's going to be that shift. So we've talked about when we go forward about shifting and pushing our right platform down and our left platform up, right, so that this leg is engaged as it moves forward, and so that this leg is straight and low as we move forward. Well, we're going to want the same thing as we go backwards. We're just going backwards. So we are going to keep that shift. We are going to keep the right platform down and the left platform up. All right, so that my left leg is engaged. My right foot is the one doing the work still. It's just doing the work to send me backwards instead of forward. So I'm going to take this right platform here, and it's going to push into the ground and forward, right? So if we think about our push-up, that does not look like this again. Sorry. So if we think about our push-up concept, where we push into the ground and as a result our bodies lift, we have to kind of take that same approach with our backwards march. So our right platform pushes into the ground, it actually pushes forward, and as a result our upper body goes backwards. And that's kind of our concept of backwards march. And what we don't want is just to stand and then just try to drag our body backwards. That's not how this needs to work. So we get our feet, we shift our body weight with the right down, the left up, and then that right foot pushes as that left foot flexes and moves backwards. So that we have, again, this energy moving in opposition just a little bit, pushing forward and moving backwards with that first step as opposed to just dragging backwards. I think I'm going to keep the camera like this for just a second and see if that helps a little bit. So I've shifted my weight. I'm taking my right platform and I'm going to push that way as I flex and move this way with my left. All right? So it's going to be shift, move, 1. You'll notice that my left leg stays straight the whole time. Body weight is still centered. That's kind of, that camera angle doesn't always do that just right. I'll try to make it look right. But my body weight is centered, 2 legs that are straight, and my heels are off the ground the same distance they were on my side, back, side, front exercise. So that's kind of our connection there. Now, a no-no, or the bad way to do this, is to just start to take a step backwards and not really have the proper engagement right here. on that right leg. What kids will do sometimes is they'll just kind of start to bend their leg and step backwards and fall into this instead of having kind of structure to that step off. Like their initiation will either come from their heel, or they won't have any activation in their right leg at all, and they just kind of go. And that doesn't really create any structure for consistency's sake on our technique, or the ability for you to play and move with that little stability right here, okay? So again, we're going to shift our weight, right foot down, left foot up. We're going to push with the right, flex the left, and transfer our body weight smoothly backwards. Super easy. All right, I say super easy. It's really not. All right, now I'm going to put this down here. Get a little closer up look on my lovely feet. All right, again, so we have our right platform down, left foot up. I'm going to push that way with my right foot, flex and extend going backwards. All right, you'll probably you lose your balance a little bit a couple times. It's difficult to kind of do and stop, but that's the idea and that's what we're after. If this is done correctly, what we have is our two heels about the same distance off the ground, about that inch off the ground. We do not have something that looks like this, where my body weight's over my right foot and just my left leg is moved, and you see how high my left. We learned that this is not correct in our forward technique either, right? Okay, so it's not correct here either. We've got to keep that heel down. You see that that's kind of a body weight problem, being too far forward as much as it is a foot problem. It's kind of a combination of both things. What we also don't want is for this to be correct, where now my body weight is all the way over my left heel's on the ground, and all my body weight is in the back. So those are kind of the two no-nos of this, is to take your step and only move your leg, but keep your body weight over this. So this is no-no, this is bad. Or to move too far, and now I'm all the way on my back leg, and there's no weight on my front leg. Okay, so these are kind of the two incorrect ways to take a backward step. Understanding now that our correct way is to shift and then end up with our body weight 50-50. Okay? When we talk about our body weight 50-50, what I'm saying is that my front foot is keeping 50% of my body weight, my back foot is keeping 50% of my body weight, so that I really can't pick up either foot right now. Both feet are holding weight of my body. If you want to do an experiment with me, go ahead and put all your weight on your back foot. You should be able to pick up your front foot now. And now switch it, put all your body weight on the front. You should be able to pick up your back foot. Now center your body weight. Get both your heels an inch off the ground, all right, so that they're equidistant from the ground. Get your body weight centered. You should really struggle right now to pick up either foot because it's holding half of your body weight. You might be able to do a little bit, but it should not be nearly as easy as if your body weight's in different places. Okay? So let's take a couple of those step-offs together, and then I'll let you practice a few on your own, okay? So we can get your feet at 90 degrees. Check into your posture. All right, now that we know what our feet do, now that we know what our feet are supposed to be doing, we need to check into this upper body posture so that we understand that everything is a posture exercise, okay? All right, so here we go. So we've shifted, move, one. Okay, do a couple of those on your own. I'm gonna keep going with you, kind of work at your own speed. So we're gonna shift, push, one. Check into both heels being equidistant off the ground, legs straight, body weight centered. Okay, easy. If I had some other clothes on other than these shorts, you would kind of be able to see that same triangle shape we've talked about in our other videos. Right here, I should have worn different pants. Sorry about that. All right, so now let's take a pause on that and let's start talking, because if you need to rewind any of that and work through that again, you certainly have the ability to do so now. Let's talk about our traveling steps going backwards and now what those are supposed to look like. So once we get to here, our shift move one, our breakdown timing-wise of our steps is exactly the same as going forwards. We're still thinking a 16th note subdivision, and we're still going to be here with our feet next to each other on the and of the beat. So what we'll do, I'm going to turn this way so you can kind of see again. I've already taken a step backwards with my left foot, so I've gone shift move one. Now my E and is going to bring my front foot towards my back foot, so my right leg closer to my left. The way this will work is, again, I'm going to flex and move back. Got it? All right, so flex and move back. So shift move one, E and. Again, shift move one, E and. You notice that both feet are completely straight. Now my left foot stays about, that ankle bone stays about an inch off the ground. Shift move 1, E, and. Practice that on your own a couple times. You can go ahead and go. Out to the front. You can go out that door. And then you can go out that door and like what you can do and take a right. Tell mom to text me when you get in the car. All right, sweet. All right, so here we go again. So let's take this together. We've got shift move 1. And let's take the and, okay? So we have shift move 1, ready, go. E, and. Again. Shift move 1, both heels equidistant from the ground, right? We don't want this one up, or this one up, or this one down, or this one down. So get them both about the same distance from the ground. Shift move 1, ready, go. E, and. Nice and smooth. Not E, and. Not two separate moves. Nice and smooth, E, and. And then we'll continue from here. We get to our and, 1 E, and. The 2, and then we continue on moving backwards. Got it? So take that again, please. So we're on shift move 1, left foot behind, right foot in front, shift move 1, E, and, the 2. Now this is really hard to control your body weight going slow, so we kind of have to work through that just a little bit. That kind of creates a few more issues than it solves at times, just working through balance. So just kind of, until we have the real good leg strength to manage that, just kind of do the best you can. But it should be nice, smooth motion. Let me get my feet correct. So left foot behind, right foot in front. Shift move 1, E, and 2. Nice and smooth. Now when I connect to the ground, the goal, and again this is a little bit more difficult at this speed, the goal is to connect to the ground like this. The goal is to connect to the ground with both heels equidistant from the ground instead of shift move 1, E, and a 2, connecting like this. See how I'm connecting with my toe, my heel's really far off the ground? That's a no-no. We've got to connect to the ground like this. You can see where my body weight is. If I connect to the ground like this, where's my body weight? My body weight's over this foot. So now I'm creating a situation where on the beat, when my foot connects with the ground, my body weight is not centered, which is absolutely not correct. To the ground with our body weight not here, but here over, again, centered. Just like when we go forward, we always want, anytime we connect to the ground on the beat with both feet, like on, whatever our steps are, our body weight has to be centered. Always, whether going forward, backward, sideways, it doesn't really matter. So, one of the common issues that we have going backwards is we have shift move 1, E, and a 2, and kids won't move their body weight backwards smoothly. They're going to connect with the ground back here, but keep their body weight over their front foot. So what this creates is, this doesn't look right, okay? And this triangle shape doesn't look like this triangle shape. Got it? So we talked about the shape with our legs that we create, so it's really important that as we go through this, that when we connect with the ground here with our body weight centered. So shift move 1, E, and a 2. It's really hard to stop. You really got to kind of squeeze those muscles in your feet. Let me take that again. So you shift move 1, E, and a 2. And that's how we want to connect to the ground. Got it? So that body weight continues to move. It doesn't stop here and then move here. Got it? All right, one more time. So go ahead and put your left foot behind, your right foot in front. We've done shift move 1. Ready to go, E, and a 2. Awesome. So that body weight is nice and centered. Now the other thing that we talked about, I think got cut off on that video, is from a front perspective, we want to keep everything on our red line, kind of like we talked about with our body weight on the side, back, side, front. When we take this step backwards, we've got to avoid it coming out to the left or our right step coming out to the right so that we move off of this red line. We've got to keep everything nice and tight into the center, right? Shift move 1, and 2, so that everything stays on this red line. Again, very much like that side, back, side, front. So our connections to the side, back, side, front that are really important is we have to connect the understanding of where our body weight is and how our body weight always kind of stays centered above our feet and doesn't get too far forward or back, right? We also understand that when we take that side, back, side, front, the distance off the ground of our heels, that 1 inch off the ground, stays consistent all the way through the process, through our backwards march and through our side, back, side, front. Okay, and then of course that leg shape stays exactly the same. You'll notice if you kind of hit the rewind button and watch through those, really at no point in time, just like our forward march, does our knee bend or do we kind of lose activity in that left leg. and then gain it, and then lose it and gain it. It always stays active. It stays extended all the way through the entire process, okay? Now, let's go through your assignment real quick. I'll walk you through all of that, and then we'll kind of see about how long this goes. I'm going to do a stopwatch here just so we can see about how long it takes, and that you know what to plan for, okay? All right, so hitting the start button now. All right, so you're going to review posture from a front and side perspective. So find a place where your video can kind of catch your whole body. Feet at 90 degrees, legs into the ground, nice and straight. Hip bowl, flat, abs, shoulders back and down, neck, ears over the shoulders, hands on hips. Hold it for just a second. Turn to the side. Take it again. Feet 90 degrees, legs into the ground, hip bowl, down, abs, down and up, shoulders back and down, hands in place, neck nice and long, ears over the shoulders. Okay? All right, now we're going to take 4 step-offs at 76 beats per minute. I don't have a metronome going right now, and to be honest, if I did that, I would probably stop the video again, so I'm not doing it. All right, so here we go. We'll just kind of guess at our 76. So we're checking our posture. Remember, everything's a posture exercise like we talked about. All right, here we go. 4 step-offs. Ready? And dut, dut, dut. Shift, move, 1. Again. Ready? And dut, dut, dut. Shift, move, 1. Again. Ready? And dut, dut, dut. Shift, move, 1. Last one. And dut, dut, dut. Shift, move, 1. Cool. All right, and now we're going to take 4 steps twice from a side perspective at 76. Here we go. Ready? And dut, dut, dut. Shift, move, 1, cross, 2, cross, 3, cross, prep, heel, close. Turn around, take it the other direction. Ready? And dut, dut, dut. Shift, move, 1, cross, 2, cross, 3, cross, prep, heel, close. Awesome. Side, back, side, front, add on. Ready? Here we go. You can go this at your own speed. Okay? You can do this at your own speed. Ready? Ready? Dut, dut, dut. Shift, move, side. Adding the next step, dut, dut, dut. Shift, move, side, back. Adding the next step, ready, and dut, dut, dut. Shift, move, side, back, side. Ooh, lost that body weight a little bit. Okay, again. Adding the next one, dut, dut, dut. Shift, move, side, back, side, front. Then we're going to add the close. Ready, and dut, dut, dut. Shift, move, side, back, side, front, close. Awesome. Now we're going to take 4 steps twice. Ready? And dut, dut, dut. Shift, move, side, back, side, front, close. Last one. Ready? And dut, dut, dut. Shift, move, side, back, side, front, close. Awesome. Now we're going to take 4 steps going backwards again at 76. If you're struggling with the metronome this first week, lose it and just do 4 step-offs. Okay, so you can kind of have a choice on that one, whatever you would like. All right, so we've got to shift our weight and then moving backwards, taking our right platform, pushing, extending with our left. Ready? Here we go. And dut, dut, dut. Shift, move, 1. All right, number 2. Ready? And dut, dut, dut. Shift, move, 1. Again. Ready? And dut, dut, dut. Shift, move, 1. Last one. Ready? And dut, dut, dut. Shift, move. Okay. Now we're going to take 4 steps going backwards. You can go at your own speed with this as well. Here we go. Ready? And dut, dut, dut. Shift, move, 1, cross, 2, cross, 3, cross, prep, heel, close. All right. Last one, please. Ready? And dut, dut, dut. Shift, move, 1, cross, 2, cross, 3, cross, prep, heel, close. And done. Stop. All right, 4 minutes and 1 second. And that was with me kind of rushing through. I kind of knew what was on the thing. So I think what I'm going to do, check this out. I don't know if that works or not. So I'm going to do this. Check this out too. This is Old Man Learn How to Work His Phone. No, it's not. Never mind. So that may have helped, that may not. What I'll do is I'll kind of take a picture of that and I'll put that on the band app, so that you can have that as well, okay? All right, so again, sorry for the multiple videos, but hopefully that can give you guys something to build on as we go through this week. Again, thank you very much. Hey, that corona thing is spiking, so don't go anywhere. If you go anywhere, wear a mask. If you wear a mask, stay away from people. All right, so let's try to get this thing curbed so maybe we can kind of get back to normal here as soon as possible. But all right, so I hope you guys are doing well. Can't wait to see you guys, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.